Finding a job these days can be really complicated, and what if you don't have the skills necessary today in the year 2014 and for the immediate future to land a decent, well-paying job? So Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, you guys know where the jobs are right now in this region. You know where the jobs are going to be. You know what skills the local employers are looking for in their new hires. You guys help job seekers and potential employers connect, and you also help to facilitate training opportunities for the region's workforce. Is that sort of like in a nutshell, just to get started about Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, Stephanie?
Absolutely. It's a pretty big nutshell, but I think our job is, as we say, is to balance the workforce needs between job seekers and companies and make sure companies are getting what they need in terms of talent.
The Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, this is a collaboration of Pittsburgh area employers, educators, funders, labor unions, policymakers, and community-based organizations, all united to ensure the needs of businesses and job seekers to ensure that those needs are met. So a lot of people are involved. This collaboration is led by a 29-member board jointly appointed by the mayor of Pittsburgh and also the Allegheny County executive, and helping to connect more than 6,000 employers locally with new employees. So you help to train and place more than 32,000 job seekers. You expose more than 1,000 young people to career opportunities available here in this region. So essentially, the Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, this is a massive coordinated effort to hook up qualified job seekers. And you guys help the job seekers become qualified too.
Absolutely. So our job is to, first and foremost, listen to companies, look at the trends, understand what they're needing, understand where the opportunities are today and tomorrow. And then when we look at the supply side of things, we have to look at who's in the workforce today, who needs to get into the workforce, how do we get them there? And then for the future, how do we make sure there's a pipeline of workers available to fill the jobs for tomorrow?
We were just going to talk about that because I am going to bring that up, Mark.
Yeah, Sean, I was just going to say the most challenging and interesting part is what workers do you need tomorrow, and how do we get high school kids trained and developed to be qualified for those jobs?
There was a statistic, and I was really surprised at this. 29% of the local kids here in this region, only 29% of them ultimately graduate from college?
In a 6-year period, that's correct.
I thought the number would be much higher than that.
Right, and we see 1 in 5 aren't even graduating from high school. So I think what's happening is that we aren't early enough starting with youth to make sure that they understand what their future career should look like. They're not planning for it appropriately, and they're just all going off to college when it may not make the most sense for them.
Right.
And they're not sure why they're there.
Sean, that's one of the biggest problems right now is kids are, once they graduate from college, they graduate with a lot of debt and aren't necessarily getting the jobs that they want.
Not in their field.
And yet there is a shortage of many skilled labor jobs, welders in particular in this market. And people just don't understand what the jobs are, which is one of the big goals for our organization, is really get into the grade schools and high schools and let people know college isn't your only option. There are a lot of great jobs.
Sean, I think what you'll be surprised to know is that 2/3 of the jobs in our region don't require a 4-year degree.
Huh.
But what we do know is that everybody needs more than high school today. So you got to get some training.
Maybe an associate degree.
Associate degree is really where we're going to have the shortage in the future and today to fill jobs that are becoming available, particularly in manufacturing and production sectors.
Okay, so the youth we were talking about, the younger workforce in the area that needs to be properly trained. I didn't know that of the jobs currently available to the younger generations here in this region, more than 67% of those jobs are concentrated in just 3 industries: retail, hospitality, which would be hotel, restaurants, and recreation. There's not a whole lot of opportunity there. Is there? Is there room for growth there?
There's a significant opportunity for there, Sean. And I think that's a challenge, is that if we want youth to be our replacement workers of tomorrow and take our jobs, we need to show them what those opportunities are today. So we need to open doors within healthcare, financial services, technology, manufacturing, and not just put them into jobs within retail and hospitality sectors. And in addition, we have a really big drop in the number of jobs even available to them. So we've kind of slammed the door in their face a bit, and we need to figure out how to get the resources back to give youth new opportunities in the workforce.
Explain the relationship that you guys have, Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, the relationship you have with PA Career Link, because they were on this program years ago. It's been some time, though, since they've been back.
Sure. So the PA Career Link is our frontline retail operation where anybody who is either accepting unemployment or who is looking for a job can go in and get supports and register with the system to get access to job opportunities, training opportunities, career counseling, and a variety of programs.
We mentioned how complex the job market is these days. PA Career Link, I know they offer workshops on how to navigate the job market, and as you just pointed out, Stefani, everything else that they provide, resume writing and interviewing help, computer workshops. Okay, so now Pittsburgh Works, which we mentioned early on this morning, this is connecting more than 80 workforce development organizations with each other. So you're looking to increase the number of job seekers looking to land decent paying jobs in the region.
Right. So we all hear, companies saying, well, we've got all these open jobs and there are all these people out there. What is it? 30,000 or so open jobs at any one point, 60,000 people looking for work in our region. And for some reason, those worlds are not colliding appropriately. And what we found is that there are many, many, many organizations out there that are getting money to do workforce. We found more than 80 organizations in our county alone who think about workforce development. So what we've tried to do is bring them together and say, let's try and collaborate a little bit more. Let's try and do things with a common language. So when we present our candidates to companies, they're getting a common approach and they are more effectively able to path people into the jobs.
And the services that you guys provide, Stefani, Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board, the services you provide both potential employees and potential employers, these are services free of charge.
Yes, we're funded mostly by public dollars.
Yeah.
And so we have a whole business solutions team that's serving companies and goes out to your company and listens and says, what are your talent needs? What do you need broadly today and tomorrow? Can we provide workers today, training for your existing workforce to upskill them, or a range of supports to make sure your company can grow and thrive in the region?
Stefani and Mark, tell us about the business solutions team just recently launched by Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board. So this initiative is all about providing a lot of valuable resources for employers in this area, correct?
Absolutely. We've always done business outreach and work through our Career Link operation, but what we saw is we need to be more broadly servicing businesses. We need to be able to offer them a range of opportunities, not just you need somebody to be hired today, but what do you need broadly to make sure that your company can thrive and grow? And that can be anything from connecting to the economic development programs to offer tax credits, to training for current workers to move up. And right now we're even working with a company who's thinking about relocating to make sure as we plan their talent that they're also locating in the right place within our region. So the business solutions team is available to go out to businesses, small, medium, large. This is service for all across all industries to meet their broad needs.
And no cost to the employers either.
And this is no cost to the employers.
Mark, you're the Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board president and also regional senior credit officer for Citizens Bank, and I know that Citizens Bank is deeply involved with Three Rivers Workforce Investment Board. Where are the jobs in this region these days? What are the career opportunities? I think I read where about 1/3 of all the jobs in this region, Mark, are in the administrative and sales areas?
Yes, they are, but you really have to look at what industries today, like manufacturing, energy, construction, finance, healthcare, broad range of jobs.
Stefani and Mark, and Mark just pointed out where the jobs are. I think Stefani chimed in as well. Where the jobs are now in this region, largely, where are they going to be like in the next 10 years? Did I read like business, financial operations, personal care? But what about, Mark, I think mentioned Marcellus Shale or digital high-tech industries?
Right. So if you look at what could happen in this industry if we get the shell cracker and you and then you have maybe chemical companies that can use the product that's produced by that cracker to make different types of products. I mean, there could be a resurgence of chemical manufacturing in this region, and there can certainly, to build that cracker is going to take thousands of skilled laborers and welders and carpenters and all, so. And there's concern that there's just not going to be enough qualified people to do those jobs.
Yeah. So two other dynamics, I think, Sean, that play into this. One is that we have a very aging workforce in Pittsburgh, and particularly in jobs in the manufacturing and production sectors, where we have probably 12% older than the service sector. And because of that dynamic, we are expecting a lot of replacement talent to be needed in the next few years. And in addition to that, what we see in those sectors is that there's a higher degree of reliance on computer technology. And so we need a lot more individuals who have knowledge of software, of coding, of how to use a variety of technology skills. And that is kind of going across all industries. And so I think the two of those things are particularly significant as we think about how we train our workers.
But Sean, through our process, particularly with CareerLink, we take an inventory of what their skills are, what their interests are, what their attributes are, and really try to say, hey, this would be a good fit for you. You need this type of training. We can get that for you. So I think we're a very beneficial resource for people who want to get re-engaged in a different part of the workforce.
So Stefani and Mark, explain what is the Work Ready Pittsburgh internship program. So Mark, I know you're really directly connected here. This is a way for qualified young people in Allegheny County to find employers locally and for the employers to find the qualified employees.
Right. It really, Work Ready. Recently, the Gates Foundation did some research, and they said a lot of people drop out of high school because they don't see a connection between their education and their job. So Work Ready Pittsburgh is trying to make that connection. So we're taking these kids, we're exposing them to other fields, other areas where they would never get exposure, and we try to help them understand what a career is and what you need to do to think about and develop skills to have a career. So, and I'm proud to say that Citizens has sponsored this for the past 3 years,
right.
And we're very passionate about taking the kids in and helping them. We're not just giving them menial labor jobs. We're trying to get them exposure to what it is to work in a bank or work in a hospital or work in Clear Channel is taking interns. We thank you very much for that.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
And the kid was so enthusiastic about his experience here this summer. So the kids go, they work, we try to make sure they get the right exposure to the right areas. And then also 1 day of the week for 4 hours, we come back and give them personal training. Here's how you dress. Here's how you act. Here's how you shake hands. Here's how you interact with people. And I can tell you, Sean, at the beginning of the program, these kids are shy, they're timid and introverted. And we had a celebration at the end of the year, and I was telling Stefani, I was just blown away by how enthusiastic and how every one of them had such a great experience.
All right.
And they're excited about it. And that's really, if we could just expand that 100 times, it would be phenomenal.
Well, as you just pointed out, so the Work Ready Pittsburgh internship program, it also teaches skills that you really can't learn in a classroom, like being responsible, the concept of teamwork, and how to collaborate with each other. But and we all talked about this. It's not just the corporate world that the youth of this area is being steered towards. There are other avenues to take as far as careers, right? I mean, we've mentioned the labor unions this morning already. Just for example, not everyone is cut out for the corporate world, but they may have other skills in a different career. And there are a lot of really good jobs in this area that aren't corporate gigs, right?
And that's really critical. I think the earlier that we can open up the minds of these youth to the myriad opportunities, I think the better off we all will be and the local economy will be.
So thank you so much, Stefani. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome,
Thank you, Sean.
www.trwib.org, 412-552-7090. This has been Pittsburgh Sunday Morning. My name's Sean McDowell.